The following compilation of notes, field reports, and personal journals were recovered from the estate of Dr. Rodney Ernest, MD, PhD, formerly of the Epidemic Allegiance Service, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, before his disappearance. His writings, once classified under File 113267115, Carpathian Strigosa, were never meant for public release. Much of what follows was believed to be lost or destroyed. They're presented as faithfully as possible, unedited except for translation and legibility, so that the truth he pursued might finally be understood. Confidential Field Report, Declassified 2023 by Dr. Rodney Ernest, MD, PhD, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. When asked, many scientists and historians point to Lilith, a character in Hebrew and Babylonian lore, as the first documented vampire. Nocturnal behavior and blood feeding are recurring traits in these stories. Yet, there is no way to confirm historical truth, only fragments of myth. Reports of vampirism exist across the globe, from Egypt to North America. Though details vary, all share a singular, terrifying thread: a thirst for mortal flesh and blood. There is no identified zero patient for the affliction, now clinically termed Carpathian Strigosa. Yet, most documented cases trace back to the Carpathian Mountains of Romania and Transylvania. Excavations in the Piatra Craiului cave system revealed skeletal fragments of enormous winged mammal, almost 3 times larger than any known Desmodus rotundus. Petrified guano nearby contained protein residue genetically similar to Strigosa, dormant yet intact. Hypothesis: the virus is prehistoric, a zoonotic relic from early hominids. Tribes venturing deep into these caves may have brought it home, birthing the legends that evolved into the vampire myth. Entry 1. 11/09/1951. I arrived in Middlefield, Massachusetts, investigating an outbreak that initially appeared to be shared psychosis, rabies-like behavior, sudden disappearances. Upon arrival, the town struck me as unnervingly silent, not the quiet of isolation, but of fear. Doors remained bottled long after sunrise. Friendly faces were absent. The first victim, a woman in her late 30s, presented advanced hypovolemia with deep bite wounds. At first, I assumed an animal attack, perhaps a rabid dog. Closer examination revealed no post-mortem rigidity or lividity, pale hemoglobin-depleted skin rather than classic blood loss, deep punctures consistent with enlarged canines, extensive trauma along the cervical region, shoulder, and clavicle. In the following nights, livestock deaths mirrored the human attacks. Signs of struggle were evident, but the bodies were completely exsanguinated. Earlier graves revealed coffins collapsed from within. The remains were missing. Something else was happening here. Something deliberate. Entry 2. 1/20/1958. Carpathian Strigosa infection progress in 3 phases. 1. Prodromal phase. 0 to 72 hours. Fever, light sensitivity, dehydration, mild delirium, and early aggression. 2. Comatose phase, 72 to 140 hours. Victim enters a pseudo-death state. Core temperature drops to 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. Cardiac activity ceases. Brain waves flatten. Death certificates often issued. 3. Resurrection phase, 140 plus hours. Neurological reactivation, eyes open white and diseased. Cellular metabolism is rewritten. Virus performs horizontal gene transfer, embedding bat-like sequences into human DNA. Morphological changes unfold over months. The virus awakens in response to body temperature, travels to the digestive system, and penetrates the intestinal lining. Early symptoms include stomach cramps, mild fever, unease, and drowsiness. After bloodstream entry, fever spikes, dehydration intensifies, host energy metabolism hijacked by ATP receptor proteins, dopamine and endorphin pathways rewired to reward feeding on blood, circadian rhythm reversed for nocturnal activity. By day 2, the victim's heart stops, medically deceased. Yet the virus continues, stimulating tissue repair hormones. By day 3, the dead host begins to stir. Muscles twitch, eyes flutter open. Autopsy observations. Organs undergo partial necrosis, then rapid viral-driven regeneration. Skeletal restructuring. Elongated limbs, widened scapula, reinforced vertebrae. Dermal degeneration, skin turns pallid or grey. Facial changes, nasal collapse, ear elongation and jaw extension. Fang development with anticoagulant salivary protein draculin. Wing formation, dermal membrane supported by reinforced ribs. Sensory enhancement. Strigoi senses are superhuman, optimized for nocturnal predation. Their vision, quadrochromatic, with near-infrared detection, pupils expand fully, reflective retina like nocturnal predators. Hearing, ultrasonic range, heartbeat detection through walls. Smell, can track human blood from 50 meters, detect freshness and individual scent. Garlic, sulfur, and certain phenolics interfere with the sensory neurotransmitters, triggering violent repulsion. Strength, speed, and hunger. Muscle, 45% fast-twitch fibers capable of explosive movement. Strength, up to 5 times the human baseline. Constant overactive adrenal state, fight or flight perpetually engaged. Feeding is neurochemically necessary, not optional. Human blood supplies PCDHY protein, vital for nervous system. Dopamine and endorphin surges drive compulsive feeding. Deprivation leads to hematic psychosis, hallucinations, aggression, and self-mutilation. Despite predatory instincts, Strigoi retains cognition, memory, and reasoning. Many display moments of lucidity, weeping, or begging for death. Physical and neurological changes. Arms may elongate and form wings for short flight. Sternum ossifies for muscular attachment. Facial bones elongate. Musculature atrophies without feeding. Sensory organs hypertrophy. Enhance coordination and reaction speed. Regeneration is rapid but energy intensive, a trade of humanity for survival. Behavioral ecology. Unfortunately, there is no known cure for Strigosa infection. Once Carpathian Strigosa has its stranglehold on the human system, antiviral drugs fail completely, as the virus integrates directly into the host's DNA. Killing the host remains the only confirmed method of total eradication, as due to the extreme physiologically integrated nature of the disease, if the host dies, the virus will also die. Transmission requires direct blood contact, though saliva and other bodily fluids are also infectious. Airborne transmission has not been observed, though there are disturbing indications that certain strains may mutate under high humidity and low temperature conditions, precisely the climate of the Carpathian valleys. In laboratory containment, infected blood remains virulent for up to 72 hours if stored below 15 degrees Celsius. It is therefore paramount that any contaminated material be incinerated immediately. Behavioral ecology and social structure of the Strigoi. It is tempting to dismiss these entities as rabid animals, deranged predators consumed entirely by hunger. Indeed, many newly transformed Strigoi exhibit only feral instinct, hunting without strategy, driven solely by the chemical agony of their addiction. But prolonged observation has revealed that beneath this primal fury lies a mind still capable of thought, memory, and, in some cases, organization. In their torment, they have built something resembling a society of the damned. Among Strigoi populations, there appears to exist a rudimentary social hierarchy, reminiscent of early human tribes or troops of chimpanzees. The most powerful, the elder vampires, often dominate small groups or nests of newly turned. These elders, sometimes centuries old, exhibit less outward savagery and greater restraint, suggesting that the virus, with time, stabilizes into a form of cold intelligence. Younger vampires refer instinctively to these elder figures, who in turn dictate hunting patterns, territory boundaries, and even the rationing of prey. It is chilling to note that some appear to have developed ethical codes of predation, self-imposed restrictions against overhunting humans, perhaps learning through centuries of survival. These groupings may number from 3 or 4 individuals to entire hunting covens, dozens strong, hidden deep in cave systems, ruins, or abandoned industrial sites. Local disappearances, feral killings, and the legends of haunted regions often correspond geographically with known Strigoi settlements. Some Strigoi remain feral, others methodical, stalking humans silently, cutting power and planning ambushes. Villages in Moldova still report living under their quiet dominion. The locals whisper of the Watchers of the Hills. Shadow empires. Though many Strigoi exist as isolated predators, evidence points to something older, larger, a structure that transcends individuals and centuries. Fragments of ancient records, obscure church documents, and forbidden texts speak of Noctis Ordero, a hidden network of undead nobility who manipulate events from the dark. Whether myth or fact, references to this shadow empire appear in disparate cultures, spanning centuries. Certain names reoccur, whispered through time like curses that refuse to die. Nycterida of Bohemia, pre-13th century. A figure described as a ghost with the wings of a bat, dwelling in a ruined keep above the Vitava Valley. His sigil, a stylized bat, appears in scattered medieval documents seized by inquisitors. The castle itself, long abandoned, empty, the servants drained of blood. The Count, known as the Dragon's Son, 15th to 19th century. I've since confirmed his death in 1893, but the weight of his name carries. A name even the infected themselves will whisper in revered tones is astounding. Whatever or whoever Dracula was, he was something even other vampires had reason to fear. It would seem humanity has, consciously or not, participated in a vast act of historical erasure, an attempt to bury evidence of these dark lords beneath myth and superstition. What we once called folklore may simply be collective trauma, refracted through centuries of denial. Closing observations. The Strigoi are not mere monsters. They are a parallel civilization feeding on ours. Intelligent, capable of strategy and restraint. Hauntingly human, retaining memory and understanding of emotions. I have witnessed 15 confirmed resurrections, none alike. One victim, Anna, pleaded before her body twisted beyond recognition. "Tell my mother I'm still inside. Please, don't let it win." The Strigosa virus is not just a pathogen, it is a resurrection parasite. It defies biology and morality. Appendix. If these notes are discovered after my disappearance, infection has spread beyond the Carpathians, Austria, Germany, Eastern United States. The vampire is no longer folklore. It is a biological reality. I once sought to understand it. Now, I fear I may have brought it home.